Getting my headphones on, getting my microphone. Woo! Cutting it close, but here we are.
You there?
We've heard rumor that we are not streaming. Actually, it was more than rumor. It was direct email and
It's true.
confirmed from other DJs that our show is not streaming online today. So if that's where you usually listen to us, I guess you are in a sad, sad place.
Kerfuffled.
I can't hear my ear. I mean, my ear things aren't working.
I'll turn you up.
What are these called? You know what? It could be because...
I didn't turn you up.
I don't care really, but...
Is that better?
Yes. Whoa. Now I have... No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good.
That's good.
Super.
Isn't it fun
Good.
to kind of listen to yourself in the headphones?
Yeah, not really, but I do like to know how loud I'm being.
It's just fun. I don't know why it's fun.
Well, I'm glad you think it's fun. Being a recording artist, you get to do this a lot.
I know. I think at first it's very strange. And then
You look all your hair looks all fancy or something today. There's something fancy about it.
I just haven't washed it in like 3 months.
That is not true.
It takes on a certain look.
She's not. That's not true, you guys.
No, it's true. But it's okay.
No.
It's when the birds start to make nests in my hair.
No, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
When it was super curly. And I was like, whoa, your hair's all curly. And you were like, I forgot to make it all straight and brush today.
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah, I couldn't find my brush this morning. I looked for it just for a second. And then when I couldn't find it easily, I said, forget it. Emily won't care. And I'm on the radio.
Aren't you glad we're on the radio?
Oh, I am so relieved. But I do want to talk to you about doing some video stuff. So we'll talk about that later.
Yes. And I can actually meet with you today because look at me. I'm not wearing a Victorian dress. I'm not even going to work today.
Yeah.
Which I sort of panicked about later because I said, oh God, wait, I need that money. Oops. But I am working Sunday. So that will make up for missing Friday.
That it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's going to be
sorta
super cool.
Yeah, John and the butcher people were butchering sheep today. And John usually opens a museum for me on Friday while I'm here. But he couldn't today because he's all gross and butchery. And I had to find a substitute. And they just said, well, I'll just do it all day. I said, that is great, young man.
That is great, young man.
So now I can wear blue jeans and have 2 legs instead of a giant hoop skirt. And look at my sneakers. Aren't these are pretty much the coolest sneakers ever.
You know, when I looked down and I saw red shoes, I thought you were probably wearing high heels or something, but they're sneakers.
Courtney had beautiful red high heels on.
Oh.
These, okay, are Converse sneakers and they're red. But you know what, you guys? They're not just any Converse sneakers. They're completely rubber. All of them are rubber.
Oh, so you can hunt for night crawlers in them.
Yeah, this is the pet peeve that I've always had with shoes. You know, you go out in the morning and your shoes are instantly soaking wet in the grass. And I hate that.
That is so relevant to me.
Because your socks get wet and then your feet are cold, and I get very cold feet.
Yes, and I didn't take my compost bucket out this morning until later, until the grass had dried a little bit, because I had already put my sneakers on, which I double knot, so I didn't want to take them off and put my rubber boots on.
You're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah,
lazy shoe tying.
Yeah.
So
double knots are important.
This is good. It's like I have on little, what do you call those shoes that are rubber?
Rubber shoes.
No, like
Mackinaws.
No, those are hats, I think.
Raincoats.
No, wait, rubber shoes. Galoshes.
Oh.
I don't like the word goulash. It sounds too much like goulash.
I love it.
Actually, it's the same as goulash, just emphasis on a different syllable.
Yeah, it makes me think of Winnie the Pooh.
Goulash was my least favorite food growing up. My mother made it quite often, and I hated it.
It's a real food?
And I still hate it.
It's real?
Yeah, it's gross. It's like any old pasta that you have left over from anything, and you put it in with spaghetti sauce. Okay, so far that makes sense. Then you add in some like ground beef and peas or whatever else gross canned things that you can find, and you stir it up and you call it goulash. And you make your kids eat it, and they hate it.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if Italians do that. They don't have goulash.
I wonder what culture,
nor the English,
what that word comes from, goulash.
Hungarian.
Maybe.
That's how
Does it seem Hungarian to you?
Well, no, those words go together, Hungarian goulash. Right?
I really couldn't say.
You couldn't say?
Do the Hungarians have a lot of pasta?
They don't call it pasta, but they have noodles. Of course, every culture has noodles, don't they?
Except maybe Were we
Eskimos.
Talking about it before that the word gypsy is a racial slur? That people who are
what do you call them? The
Romani,
yeah,
ancestry do not, because gypsy always was sort of the its connotation was of sort of thieves and liars and bad, and it was directed at that ethnicity.
It's like saying Eskimo instead of Inuit.
Although, but then you look around and like Stevie Nicks has brought some coolness to that word, you know.
Stevie Nicks? What about Stevie Nicks?
You know her song Gypsy, and there's lots of like cool things. There's the most beautiful horse in the world that is called a gypsy something or other. So like there's a lot of, it's a cool word.
I thought you were
gypsy moths are gypsy moths the bad ones that make all the little Never mind. Okay, forget that. I didn't say that one.
I thought you were going to say that Stevie Nicks was an Eskimo.
No. Is she an albino, though, or is just that for, like, album covers?
She's a musician.
Where she looks like that really white guy. You know that guy
Johnny Winter.
Yes, thank you. The guy who literally looks like...
He is albino.
Powdery and...
Yeah.
He's really an albino?
Yes, I believe he is.
Stevie Nicks is not, though, right? She just likes to, like, powder up.
I never thought about her as an albino. That didn't cross my mind. She does look blonde. Speaking of blondes...
What?
Well, of course, we're going to have to talk a little bit about the Tunbridge Fair because you practically lived there for 5 days.
I did. I never left. But about 12 hours a day.
I'll just say something kind of arbitrary about the fair because I went with my friends from France.
I like how you say friends like they weren't really your principal growing up. Now they're friends. Isn't it weird when you get older? Like people who are not your friends when you're younger because they're far too old to be your friends can now be your friends.
Yeah.
It's not like when you were tottering around as a 6-year-old. You were like, this is my friend, the principal. You would not have said that.
That's right. I was 12 and he was 29. So that was the age range break. But now it's like we're the same age.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we went to the fair, of course, and we watched the horse pull. And usually the teams that bring the horses in are all guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I know several women that participated in that this year.
Well, I guess it was the first time that I had seen a woman on one of the teams, and she had short blonde hair and a bunch of tattoos.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that woman, but I know another woman who also was blonde.
Yeah, which it makes sense. I mean, women work with horses a lot, so but maybe not draft horses quite as much.
I love my draft horse, but I don't pull things with it really like that.
Yeah, you're not into...
I don't like to wave around the whip and shout. And it wouldn't care anyway. It wouldn't even move. She's very slow paced. She's like a really, when you ride on her, she's just like a very slowly walking couch. Like you can sit there and it's just like the couch is walking.
I've been up on a draft horse once and they're so wide that it hurts your legs.
I know. So you have to sit sideways if you want. You can sit sideways. You don't even fall off.
Or you could sit cross-legged if you're.
You can sit any way you want. Like nothing happens up there.
What's your horse's name?
Snow Queen.
Nice. That's so nice. Well, at the fair, I'll just tell you, because I was just at the fair for a few hours, which is quite different than how you're at the fair. But so the first thing that we did is we got burritos, and then we went to the harness racing.
Nice.
And we're sitting in the grandstand, and the way that they do it is they have a harness race, which usually has 3 people in it, like 3, what do you call it? 3 rigs. And after the race was done, the band would play a song.
Cool.
It was the Radio Rangers. And they would play a song, and then they'd have another harness race, and then the Radio Rangers would play another song. And I just thought that is so interesting. That's a really kind of a hard gig.
It is a hard gig, but a nice way to sandwich the entertainment there.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was funny. It was kind of funny to be eating burritos and watching harness racing and the Radio Rangers.
So many agricultural entertainments have a lot of downtime in between while you wait for somebody to get ready. So that makes sense. Put music in there. Sure.
Yeah.
And
why not?
And burritos, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. But want to know what my favorite part of the fair is? I think it's when you first get there. And I always want to park in the north lot. I don't like to park south of the fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we go across that little bridge that washed away in the flood, and now they've put it back.
I love that bridge so much.
It's a new bridge. It was crushed to bubkiss. It went down the river and was crushed. And they sent it back to the company, and they repaired it.
Oh, I wondered. Well, I feel like if I have to come into the fair from the south, it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel as exciting. It's getting out in the pasture or the field up in the north and then taking the walk and then crossing the bridge. And you always see kids with their cows, like watering their cows.
Yes.
And that's just, for me, that's really what the fair is all about. And that's kind of my favorite fair and then favorite part of the fair. And then it's all downhill from there.
Well, I can only come in from the south because that's where the employee parking lot is. So that's the only place I'm allowed to park. But we do get to park right on Antique Hill. So I step out of my car onto the fairgrounds, basically. So that's
Gosh, that you must feel sort of, I don't know, like special.
It's hard to park, though, because it's steep. There's like a steep part. It's that bank that goes up into the town there. And we have to park on it. And my emergency brake wasn't really working very well. So I knew it wasn't going to hold. So I had to take one of the other parking spots, which is like really tight parallel parking up against the back of the machinery building. And I'm really bad at parallel parking. In my driving test, that's the only thing I got years ago. Points off on because I'm not confident in my parallel parking. I know you're supposed to line up with the car in front of you, crank your wheel halfway around, and then back in halfway, and then uncrank your wheel. But I don't trust that. That's supposed to be the mathematical equation.
Don't trust
put you in the exact right spot.
A formula. Yeah.
I don't trust that formula.
Yeah.
And so I never actually use it. And so I never park properly.
I see. Yes. I see the logic.
I never believe that there's as much room between me and the other cars as there really is.
Yes.
And it's so confusing. And the mirrors even tell you that. They say.
Of course they do.
That the objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Or are they further away? I don't know, but see, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the whole thing. Parallel parking should be banned.
Did you ever think that there was something possibly wrong with you?
No. Because this is just a silly way to park.
Okay.
Really.
I just thought I'd throw that out there as food for thought. Why not just make parking
spots a little bigger and put people in, slot them right in the way God intended.
Yes. That makes no sense. Okay. So did you have a good time at the fair?
I did because I got to spend all 4 days with my friend Suzy, who's exactly like you. So basically I just spent 4 days with you, which was fabulous.
Well, you always say that, and I always go in and I say, hi, Suzy, and I have no clue what could possibly be similar about us. but I believe you.
You don't. She's just exactly like you. Like everything I say to her, she responds the same way that you would respond.
Okay.
So like I already know how she's going to react to things, and that's very comforting.
Gosh, we should all have friends that are all the same.
I know. And the thing is, she looks a little similar to you. Like she looks like she could be your mother. I know that that's not what your mother looks like because I've seen like a picture of your mother, and she doesn't look anything like Suzy. But if your mother actually looked like you in like 30 years, that it would look like Suzy.
Okay.
And she's just cool. And she lives in this off-grid home that she built totally by herself. She has 3 kids, and then they're the same.
Wow.
They're the same sexes as all your kids.
Wow.
And her son is identical to your brother Marcus, which is the weirdest thing ever. He's super cute. You know how I think your brother is super cute?
Yeah.
Her son's super cute.
Oh, geez.
I had to stop myself from being like, you are so cute when he came to visit her.
Yeah.
So that was not appropriate of me.
Yes.
But anyway, and she does hearthside cooking every day. She doesn't have a real stove. She cooks over an open fireplace every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she makes little tiny miniature cool things. And she just reminds me of you. And
Wow.
she's good at...
What town does she live in?
She's in Calais. Or Cabot, sorry.
Oh, she's in Cabot. She's way up north. She comes all the way down
Yeah.
here.
She's funny in that, like, totally understanding, empathetic, dry, sarcastic, and all the good kinds of way funny.
We have to take a field trip and go see
I know,
her.
I know.
I really want to go to Cabot.
Yeah.
Because I was close to Cabot just the other day. We took a trip to Chickering Bog, which is in Calais.
That's a great name.
Chickering Bog. That's why I wanted to go. I'd always heard about it.
The best names.
Yeah.
Why is that?
And technically it's not a bog, it's a fen. And I know we've talked about this before.
I know.
But
What's a fen?
A fen is pretty much the same as a bog.
I've never even heard that word before.
A fen?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a thing. And it just has a greater exchange of water. So a bog sits there and doesn't have inlets and
like
outlets.
Muck. A bog is like mud.
Well, they both have peat. They have these huge layers of peat that have developed over
we
limestone.
have peat in Vermont?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes. And
so a fen...
A
fen is one that's just more like a swampy.
Well, it just has water inlets and outlets that are invisible, but they're there.
So they're under the peat. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So that's where you might find your quicksand.
I don't think so. These environments don't look like they have quicksand.
Do we even have quicksand?
I've been to Peachum Bog too.
You know what? Every cartoon growing up, someone got stuck in quicksand. And I saw a meme on Facebook recently that said, I really thought the quicksand was going to be more of a part of my life than it is. And growing up, I've never had a problem with quicksand.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's exactly right. I thought that quicksand was like everywhere.
Yeah, we did grow up expecting to die that way.
Yes.
And I thought about it as a youth. When I would get stuck in the mud, I would be worried that it would be very deep.
Yeah.
And I've been in a couple
usually just takes your boots
situations.
And that's all. That sucking sound, and then your foot comes out and there's no boot.
And hopefully you can get the boot out.
Right.
Life is a lot like that.
Yeah, it is.
You try to pull your foot out or you get your foot out, but something is left behind. Mm-hmm. And you could go through life with one boot on. I mean, that's an option.
Your socket's all dirty.
Yeah.
If I'm going to lose one boot, I'm going to lose them both. Because
okay, then
I don't like
barefoot.
that weird off-balance feeling of only wearing one shoe.
Or get a new pair of boots.
Right.
Maybe it's time to get a new pair of boots. Have you thought about that?
Oh. You're so deep. Fun. You're just getting so deep.
I just think there's ways to perk your life up if you're just feeling depressed today. Why don't you consider...
I'm not depressed today.
Well, I'm just saying somebody out there's feeling depressed today.
Yeah.
So they might go down. What's it called? Either Farmway or West Lebanon Supply. They have
or Lenny's.
And, I think the better sales are at the other places. I'm not sure.
Farmway is pretty darn expensive, though.
But they do have sales.
They do. You got to watch the classified
watch for the sales and get yourself some new boots, and you're going to feel better.
My husband came home with some new boots for my little nephew, Joe, yesterday. He's 3. And the boots are shaped and colored and look just like little frogs, which I thought were really cute. Where are all the fun boots for the grown-ups? Why don't we get boots that are shaped like animals?
What you can fit in children's boots. That's what you have to do, like mine. You know, my rubber boots with the tulips.
Yeah, they're pretty, but like they're not shaped like an animal or anything.
But it's a children's size, so I'm saying if you get the largest size,
I can fit in children's boots.
You could probably find some that look like frogs if you want. If you think that that's going to improve your life,
these red rubber Converse sneakers are the children's size.
So okay, you're all set for life.
I am, but I just wanted to put that out there for all the people who have normal sized feet and probably want some boots shaped like an animal.
But I have size 9, and I got the largest size of kids' boots with tulips.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
No, you didn't. Those are women's boots. Then.
No, they're not.
You can't have a size 9 and get the sizes in the children's section.
Yes, you can.
Because the children's section stops at like 5 or 6.
No, you're totally wrong. You're wrong.
Was this a child at heart section? Because
no,
I'm not wrong.
Stop it.
I looked up shoe sizing this week. Because I had to figure out what the conversion from like the UK sizes and the whatever sizes, because I was trying to order a size online that was an Australian size, and I had to figure out, and it was the universal foot shoe chart thing that you can find online, and supposedly, unless you went someplace very magical and special, which it sounds like you did, the children's sizes are supposed to stop right around my size. Like, I'm the cutoff, man. I'm the cutoff.
No, the place that's very magical and special of which you speak, that land of incredible mysteries, that is West Lebanon Feed and Supply. So check it out, people.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Right in the front of the store.
Okay.
Kids' boots.
All right.
Yeah. And so I guess it's time for a song. We have a song lined up, and we'll see how it comes out.
Do we? What is it?
Yeah, we have a sort of fanciful song called Kop Shahom Fair by Robert Resnick.
Pronounce that.
Well, it's a traditional song that he has worked up here.
I hear a little hummy fuzzing noise.
Oh, I don't this week. Isn't that funny?
Well, maybe it's just in my side. It's like when I talk, there's a little echoey buzz that goes with my voice. It's like a bee. It's like there's a bee singing along with me, but I don't really care.
That could be distortion, but I don't see distortion on the meters.
Okay, let's forget I even said it.
All right.
You play
right.
this song.
On a Friday it fell in the month of April, o'er the hill came the morn, with the blithe sunny smile, and the folks they were thronging the roads everywhere, making haste to be in it at the Kop Shahom Fair. I've seen 'em a-comin' in from the mountains and glens, those rosy-faced lasses and strapping young men, with a joy in their hearts and unburdened of care, all meeting old friends at the Kop Shahom Fair. There are lads for the lasses and toys for the bairns, and there's tumblers and jugglers and folks with no arms. There's a balancing act here and a fiddler there, and there's nutman and spiceman at Kop Shahom Fair. There were peddlers and potters and gingerbread stands. There were peep shows and puff darts and green caravans. There's fruit from all nations exhibited there, with kale plants from Harwich at the Kop Shahom Fair. When the hiring's over, well, off they all spring into the big ballroom for to join in the throng. And I never will lie with my mammy nay mare, as those girdies twirl briskly at the Kop Shahom Fair. Now this is the fashion, they thus pass the day, till the night coming in they all hurry away. And then some are so sick that they'll never go there, with the fighting and courting at Kop Shahom Fair.
was a hurdy-gurdy for Friday.
Woo! I love the little penny whistle thing in there.
Yeah, that was Robert played that, and he played the hurdy-gurdy.
Does he have a hurdy-gurdy?
Yes, of course he does.
Does he have like little monkeys on it?
No, this one has nothing to do with monkeys.
Oh.
That's an organ grinder, which we've talked about this before. But
sorry, yes.
Yeah, no, I know.
I feel like I might have to sneeze soon,
okay.
So I'm a little distracted by that. But I
made sure to sneeze before the show twice.
It goes away,
so I'm gonna be good.
How come most people do sneeze twice? I usually just sneeze once, but I'm not right.
There's two kinds of people in the world, as you know. Yes. I've told you this before. Oh gosh.
What do you do when somebody is near you and they sneeze and you say bless you or whatever, and then they sneeze again and you say it again? What if they keep sneezing?
Then you make a joke about it.
Do you start saying
I can't say bless you.
I'm not going to bless you
so
anymore.
Many times
You've already been
exhausted.
Blessed. So just like stop trying to milk all these blessings.
Yeah.
And sneeze more.
What are you trying to do to me? Just tell them.
All right. I just don't know what the sneezing etiquette is when people are.
Tell them to cut it out.
Still sneezing.
Go somewhere else if you're going to sneeze more than twice.
And do you have to talk about it, or can you just like stop saying bless you?
You can smile and
you just
look demure.
But what if you don't know them very well? So you don't want to say, dude, I'm not blessing you anymore because you just have been sneezing forever.
You could poke them. You could push them over off their chair. I
always feel a little awkward when I sneeze in a store and some total stranger says bless you to me, and that makes me feel weird because then I have to be like, thank you. And then I have to try hard not to sneeze because I don't want them to have to bless me more.
What I don't understand why you have to say thank you when someone says bless you. Like, okay, you blessed me and I'm going to thank you because you blessed me. Who are you to bless me?
What? Yeah. Why do they get to bless you? Are they some sort of deity that goes around bestowing blessings?
Or a religious figure, perhaps.
It does have a very religious connotation. Why do we get... I don't know.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Don't even know what all this means.
Bless me, Father, for I have sneezed. Thank you.
I mean, it's compulsive. It's not like you're meaning to do it.
It's just a fun thing. It's a fun...
Sneeze sinned on purpose.
It's just a fun way that people interact, like saying, oh, the weather's great today. Like talking about weather.
I almost never talk about weather with
sneezing.
people because it's just like, it's just weather. I don't know.
I love talking about weather. I love it so much.
We never talk about the weather, do we?
Well, we don't need to. We have other stuff to talk about. But people you have nothing to say to, you can just launch right in about what an incredibly beautiful day it is. And on that topic, I wanted to give you a quote from Mary Oliver.
I love Mary Oliver.
Yeah, I thought you would like this. It's the closing line of one of her poems.
She's one of my favorites.
Okay, well, let's get some of her books. Let's have like a reading group of Mary Oliver's poems and we can sit and say how great it is. Okay. But right now, I just want to tell you the one line.
Okay, you can do it now.
Okay, it is, joy is not meant to be a crumb. It was a poem about joy and giving yourself permission to find the joy and indulge in
slop it on lavishly
instead of cutting yourself off constantly with whatever all the ways that we sabotage our feelings of joy. And she said, joy is not meant to be a crumb. I liked that.
I do too.
And you know how sometimes the last word of a poem has a little twist to it. And that's certainly how that felt in the context of this poem. It just kind of gave you that good little feeling like, ooh.
She's wonderful. I wanted to, at one point I was on the committee that decided who the winter evening speakers were going to be at the Tunbridge Library. And all I wanted and all I ever said was, I just want Mary Oliver, okay?
Where does she live? Could we get her?
Not far. I think Massachusetts, but she's totally cool about
I just wish
doing things in here.
I just like to have her over.
I tried to get her, I think, and I can't remember what happened, and no one else really cared, so...
Let's just have her over.
Yeah. Let's just hang with her.
I'll say when you're...
She's our peeps.
Yep. And
I feel like she would like us.
Yeah, and...
Because we like her, and that's how it works.
Well, right? This kind of segues into my Personal Growth Friday topic.
Oh, God. All right, have at it.
Okay, here it is, Personal Growth Friday. I want to talk about the fantasy of wanting to be best friends with your favorite musicians.
They just don't know that you're supposed to be their best friend. That's the deal.
Well, I have suffered with this my whole life, and I think in many ways it's shaped my life's decisions. And it's
Willie Nelson is supposed to be my soulmate, and he's going to die before he can realize this.
Look, it's delusional.
What? You're the one who's always like saying you're going to marry. Who are you going to marry? I can't remember. Sorry, I won't say it.
I don't know. I'm sure it's changed over the years. You know, it goes from one A to B to C. But I could publish a book of letters, I think, that I've sent to famous musicians. In fact,
I've never sent any, and I feel
I'm going to. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take off the name. Like, I'm not going to let anybody know who it was that I wrote to. It's just the body. It's just the oozing craziness of how you write to somebody that you're sort of putting on a pedestal.
You're a big fan mail writer person.
Kind of. But I never got a reply.
Oh. The only fan mail I ever wrote in my entire life, and I didn't send it, I just wrote it, was when I was really little. I wrote, and he's about my age too. I wrote a fan letter to Sean Astin.
Who's that?
He's the guy who played the little kid in the Goonies, and he's also in the Lord of the Rings now that he's older.
What's the Goonies?
Oh my God.
I've never heard of that.
All right. Okay. Stopping everything right there. So didn't we decide we had to have a movie night with you poor people who haven't seen all the classic movies that you have to see?
There's a classic movie called The Goonies?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it classic. It was classic for the 80s. It's like every child in the 80s.
Is this like Flashdance?
Yeah, it's way better than Flashdance.
I don't know if I saw that either.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I at least know what that one is.
You have to see The Goonies. You would 100% relate with The Goonies.
Okay.
It's just a group of misfit kids who end up finding their big development is coming into their city, and their parents can do nothing. Their houses are going to be flattened for some giant golf resort or whatever. And the kids, all these kids that are kind of socially awkward, bond together and solve a crime, and meanwhile find old pirate treasure and save their
okay,
little
so
homes.
You wrote to somebody who starred in the Goonies?
Yeah, because I was pretty young. Anyway, the weird thing is now, this Sean Astin's daughter is like marrying really good friends of ours' son.
No.
Isn't that weird?
What are you going to do?
Nothing. I really don't care anymore. I'm just saying, all I was saying is that that's the only fan letter I ever wrote in my entire life.
No, are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. I was not, and still I'm really not into celebrity people like that.
I'm so embarrassed.
No, why are you embarrassed? That's normal.
Because
you did something normal for once.
I don't know. I mean, I ended up booking a bunch of them. I probably had I developed a lot of relationships.
Wait, I thought you said they didn't respond to you.
No, they're booking agents. I realized that you could get halfway to them by starting a concert promoting business, and you could have a relationship with their booking agent.
That's practically
somehow it's not quite the same.
Oh, all right.
But, you try. You try, and if at first you don't succeed, you try again.
Well, that's cool.
And, I've started bands with people that were some of my favorite local musicians, but I'm over it now. I'm just over it. I'm 99% over it. I still got a 1%.
I don't know why this is, because I'm always sort of in awe of other people's talents, but I've never had that weird celebrity. What's the word when people get really like starstruck? I don't feel
obsession,
I just never have done that. I don't know why, because I just think,
well, if Sean came in the door right now, how would you be? Would you be
totally fine? I'd be like, oh, how's the wedding planning going? And is Ali freaking? I mean, I know like now people that everybody's the same. We're all just people.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally the truth. That is totally the truth. It's just I've even heard about famous people who get nervous meeting other famous people. So it's not a thing that you necessarily get over just because you're famous. But there's a certain, for me at least, there's a deficit in self-esteem.
But you are one of the famous people.
No.
You're a little bit famous, though.
No.
Yes, you are.
No.
I was afraid to meet you a little bit, and I'm not even that way. But I just thought you were so much cooler than me that why would you want to hang out with me?
There's another category that I think is relevant, and you belong to it too, which I would say local hero.
Yeah. And that to me is in a higher up level than celebrity.
Well, it's really more fun because it's accessible. Like you can be
right. And that's what's more scary too.
And well, everybody can be a local hero in a different way. And it's just, we kind of take turns as to how visible we are as local heroes. But you could do something great for the library, like plant a tree and you might be a local hero. So, okay. But there's a strange thing. I don't know.
Does anything that we ever say make sense, I wonder?
I don't know. But I do love music. I mean, I love music. I've always loved music. So, I mean, how much you love music maybe is how crazy you get when you are admiring other people's music. Or
that's true.
It's not, you're sort of admiring the music, but it's speaking to you.
And you know how much work went into it.
Well, the music itself is sort of taking you seriously. The songs that speak to you are taking your feelings into account, and you appreciate that.
But you know what? Usually, often the musician didn't write their own song; someone else did.
Well, musicians are often really unappealing in person. The characteristics of famous musicians can be completely obnoxious, as I learned over the years.
So sad. I love music too.
It's
so much.
It's very disillusioning and sad.
But on all the time.
Yeah, but if you get over it and you work all this through, because it is Personal Growth Friday, so we have the opportunity always on Fridays to work things through, then we can become a better person and we can become more balanced and less delusional.
Oh.
Which is a great opportunity.
But I hear the train coming.
I do too, just way off in the distance.
Okay.
See, you're onto it now. I mean, because you're starting to like it as much as I do. Yes, you are.
Sometimes.
I can see that.
I have to be in the right mood.
Joy is not a crumb.
Sometimes I hear it and I'm like, whew, that is a sexy sound. And then sometimes you hear it and you like it. And I'm like, whatever.
Listen for the joy in the train whistle.
I think he's just saying people get the hell off the tracks.
Yeah, but why is he saying that? He's saying that because he's going somewhere important.
He's saying it so he doesn't crush them.
No, he's going to a new place.
Because that would be very scarring to all the passengers and himself, I'm sure.
There's something exciting at the other end of the trip.
It's called my paycheck.
That's why people take a trip.
Sorry.
People go
I'm such a
places because there are new discoveries. And if you can't go very far, maybe you can just go find a new dirt road in Vermont. As I've said, that's therapeutic.
You know what? It didn't happen this year, and I was sad, but you should do this with us next year because you would love it. The Chelsea Road Rally is so much fun.
Yeah, I can't believe I've never done it.
I can't even believe how much fun it was. When I first heard about it, I was like, that sounds so annoying. I don't want to drive around all day long for no reason and follow clues, but it was so fun.
I think it's great.
And they make a point to send you on roads that you would never go on ever, and it's crazy.
I will daydream about the Chelsea Road Rally now.
Yeah.
Until it comes back.
I saw a lady with pet beavers.
Sure.
We saw
I always do that.
Whole little village of gnome houses.
Of course.
Someone had built on
gnome
the side
houses.
of the road.
What?
It was really weird.
What are you talking about?
It's like you go into just another dimension of things you'd never find.
And you think I'm delusional?
No, I have pictures of these things. I take pictures of the weird stuff you see during the road rally. Because it doesn't stay in Chelsea. He sends you all over. You could go way up into the Northeast Kingdom. It's usually anywhere between like a 60 to 80 mile.
The Wishing Well guy.
Thing. The Wishing Well guy. Oh my God. He's not all there, I've heard, but his folk art is pretty interesting. Did you see his snow sculptures this winter?
I don't know that
it was Santa on a sleigh.
This year? He did it this year?
Last time we had snow.
Oh, okay.
He had like a Santa on a sleigh. It wasn't being pulled by anything. And then it was like the 7 dwarves were all around him. And they all had various facial expressions. And he tried to color them with food coloring. Oh. But it basically just looked like they'd been eaking blood.
Oh.
But something about it was very appealing.
I had a strange encounter with him at the gas station back when we had a gas station.
Like out of his natural habitat, you saw him?
Yes. I'd never seen him away from the Wishing Well.
Yeah.
But he was at Upham's, which
Whoa.
became Flanders.
Yeah.
He was at Upham's store.
Did he have a car? I don't think he drives or anything.
No, I had the hood of my car up. I was doing something. I was gazing.
Oh, right, but how did he get there?
Into the engine. Might drive.
I don't think he does
We
drive.
don't know.
I don't.
Well, he actually said something a little suggestive to me.
Whoa.
So I just smiled. You know, there is certain situations in your own local community can be handled in a friendly way. And so I shut the hood and there I was with my car. And I drove away. So anyway, that was very cool. We haven't even introduced the show.
Oh, God.
Could you please do it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are listening to 11th Hour Radio. We're not streaming live today, I guess, because it's broken. But normally we come to you live out of South Royalton, Vermont. Royalton Community Radio, WFVR-LP. 96.5. That's Kristina Stykos over there. And I'm Emily Howe. And we have fabulous sponsors. Are they called sponsors or underwriters? What is their true and official title?
Now you've confused me. I don't know.
Sorry. What are you guys? Tunbridge.
They're both.
Tunbridge Grease Collective.
Yeah, let's give them both.
Howe Vale Farms. Howe Vale or Howe Acres? Somebody online this weekend wrote something to Howe Vale Farms. But they wrote Howe Acres. And then there was this, and somebody said, no, don't you mean Howe Vale Farms? Or maybe they said, don't you mean Howe Acres? Now I'm confused.
I think there's a Howe Acres somewhere in the United States.
Okay.
So that's the confusion. But it's Howe Vale.
Howe Vale sponsors us. And Mountain Folk.
And now it's time for another song. This hour is just whizzing by.
Kind of is.
It's way too fast. But let's play another song. This one is called Hard-Hearted Hills. And I honestly forget who it is. But I'll find out. So listen to the podcast.
I wish to God those glaciers would have stayed at home instead of running down these mountains like they done. I wish the salty seas still washed the valleys like they did so long before these people come. I'd be seeking solace on some shell-strewn beach, have high peaks to climb and win. No need to heed the mindless murmuring of them stone-blind streams that come tumbling from the hard-hearted hills. In the hard-hearted hills, with your heels dug in, you can hug the rocks like moss, or you can moan like the wind. And in the hard-hearted hills, with your arms held high, you can reach for all your worth, but you'll never touch the sky. sleeping. 500,000 tons of granite on my back. I am surrounded by an ocean's worth of fossils. They seem to glow just like they know they're coming back. And I dream the glaciers once again moving. I feel the pounding of the sea within the shell. And I wake to hear an endless roll of thunder. I hear it echo in the hard hills. I hear it echo.
Okay, that was Hard-Hearted Hills, and I did figure out who it was. It was Pete Sutherland.
Where do you think he got the wind sounds? Do you think it was real wind, or do you think it was fabricated wind?
I don't know. I'd have to listen more carefully to it. You could certainly get us the sound of wind online. You can just download the sound of wind for free from a stock audio clips
a wind
company.
Store.
Yeah, but it could be that they actually went in. Recorded it. It's not easy to record wind. You have to put the wind screen on the microphone,
and it makes a weird sound like
yeah
when you're videoing.
That's right. That's
so
right.
You have to have some very specialized equipment to get it sounding actually pretty.
I know. I'd like to try it. I like sounds. I like just generic sounds of the earth and the sky, and I'm very interested in them. I don't know what to, I just don't know what to do, collecting engineer. Sounds. Yeah, I don't, sometimes we put sounds into musical recordings and that can be cool. But I think there's some other future with me and natural sounds. I don't know what it is.
Has anyone ever made a song that's entirely, the musical portion of it is entirely made up of naturally occurring sounds? And I know people have done things where they just whap sticks together and stuff, but I mean, totally naturally occurring sounds. So no human involvement.
Like a collage of...
I don't know what you can use. Frogs, water dripping, lots of things that you can combine for beats and combine for melodies.
I think people do that, but I wouldn't say it's been, extensively explored. So you could if you want, but I don't think it's a good way to make a living, for example.
Okay.
I mean, if you and I are concerned about like how much money we're making...
Right, which we are.
Not. So I wouldn't take that on, probably.
We're both going into our winter panic mode.
Yes,
which happens to gardeners and seasonal museum curators.
and / artists. Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, it's really an irritating little mix of, guess when all the big costs of things happen are the winter. Like, there's got to be firewood, there's got to be heating oil, there's got to be all these things. Usually you're going to need snow tires, you're going to need all kinds of bizarre things will break in the winter. That's just when they like to break, because they break when your life is hard and they know that it's harder in the winter.
And I actually have a second installment of my property taxes that comes due in November.
Yeah, we did the what do you call it when you don't do your taxes when they're due and you put it off?
Extension.
Yes, we did that. So they're due now.
And I'm like, income tax. Federal tax?
Yeah, whatever that one is.
As opposed to property tax, yeah.
So that one we put off in April or whenever you're supposed to do it. And now it's due. And I was like, that was really stupid of us, because this is our time when we're the poorest.
Yeah, I know. And it's better to buy your wood in the spring if you can.
Didn't do that.
Yeah, I did it kind of late summer.
We mostly harvest our own wood from our own property, but we haven't even started yet because there's been all kinds of other crap to do, like haying and...
Oh man!
Weddings.
Well, let me divert you from your anxieties.
Okay.
I have a spelling challenge for you.
Oh yeah, that'll make my anxiety so much better.
You'll never get it.
Great,
Okay.
Good.
The
Let's
word
hear it.
is lead, but it's like a journalist writes a lead story for a newspaper. Lead.
It's still like lead. Lead. What do you mean? No, it is. What are you talking about?
No, this is a very deep spelling experience.
Are you doing a trick? Is this a trick?
No, it's not a trick. It's just something I stumbled upon this week. I stumbled upon many magical things during the week, and this was one of them. Okay, I'm not going to just make you suffer with it. Do you want to take some wild guess before I tell you?
No, that was my wild guess. It's spelling it like it's supposed to be spelled.
No, it's Lede.
No, it isn't.
Yes,
Nobody
it is.
spells it that way.
You look it up.
But I work for newspapers, and no one's ever spelled it that way to me.
I know. I thought since you're a journalist, you would get it, but
no.
You can spell it Lead. That's fine. It's acceptable. But there is another spelling which is probably more correct. Lede. Wow. Yeah, I think it's great to know that a commonplace thing can have a different side to it. I mean, just like people.
I like when they allow you to spell things in different ways.
And sometimes
can't you spell gray with either an E or an A, depending on whether or not you're claiming to have any British ancestry?
Yeah, that one I always have a hard time about which one I like better, gray with an A or gray with an E. I cannot make up my mind. It
depends on the shade of gray.
Yeah.
If it's darker, I go with the A. If it's lighter, I go with the E.
And I have a thing about gray that developed when I was my third pregnancy.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was pregnant, but I was starting to have morning sickness. And I was on an airplane going to India. And the color gray that was on all the plastic things like the headphones and the seat tray, the food trays.
Yes, I know that color of gray.
Yeah. It started to, I somehow associated it with being nauseous.
Nausea.
So I used to like the color gray a lot, but now unfortunately I have developed this association with morning sickness and the color gray. And then on top of it, I have to decide which way I want to prefer to spell it. It's too much for me.
I totally understand you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I thought you would. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I broke my shovel this week.
No.
Yeah. My favorite shovel.
Like,
I was digging up a tree.
Did you just snap the handle, or?
Yeah, snap the handle.
That's not broken. That's just.
Well, I'm not going to replace the handle. That's too much for me. That's when that's what you need like a partner to do for you. You just can't do everything. And that's one thing I just can't do.
Eli, during the fair, because he and Ira got to work with the big woodworking dudes this year, made a new axe handle for an axe that was broken.
I love that. I mean, I love it so much. My life would be filled with things that
ain't nobody got time for that.
Fat.
That's just silly stuff.
Well, we're saying that we appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into taking care of your tools and keeping your tools for a lifetime.
Right, but how many hours does it take to make a shovel handle?
Yeah, you could go to Welch's and you could get the handle, but I looked at it and there were these. This particular shovel has a, what do you call it, like a triangular top to it. It's a half shovel. It's about this high. It's about as high as your hips.
That's
what
just
I'm talking
a
about?
me-size shovel.
A what?
Like, I like those littler shovels.
I do too.
I
prefer them. I don't use long-handled shovels.
I crack myself in the head with the longer ones. I don't know how I managed to do it.
You step on them and they... Yeah.
No, just holding them. The handle's too long and unwieldy, and I always am clomping myself in the head with it.
Yeah.
It's in the way.
Yeah. No, having your favorite
don't need that
shovel
much handle.
is important.
Yeah. I mean, you're bent over when you're shoveling anyway, so why do you need all this extra shovel handle sticking out back of you?
Yeah. So I snapped it off, and I was digging up a lilac tree, and I did manage finally to get the tree out of the ground. And then I was by myself, and it was almost too heavy to pick up. I mean, I say almost because I did finally kind of jerry-rig something to get it into the Kubota.
Did you shake like the dirt off its roots a little bit?
Yeah, I did. I tried picking it up the one time. I couldn't get it up on my knee because my strategy was to get it on my knee and then hoist it off my knee into the...
We always carry around in our gardening days, which are few, but at our farm, a sheet, and you just roll it onto a sheet, and then you can drag the sheet across the grass.
No, this I had to go quite a ways uphill. That wasn't going to work. I had to use a Kubota.
Okay.
But yeah, I clawed off as much of the dirt as I could without damaging the roots, and then I did manage to hoist it up. on my knee and get it. And then I took it above where I was going to plant it and dragged it down to the location. It was very complicated, but it worked. And the tree is happy now because the tree has been stressed out. The tree's been moved about 3 times, and each time it just gets less and less healthy. So I finally just thought this tree needs a permanent vacation in a spot that feels really soothing. So I found it a spot, and I hope it's happy. I'm going to give it lots of love now.
Okay. All right.
I thought you'd be happy about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We started. Oh, I was like, how do we start talking about this? This is because your shovel broke.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I think Welch's is having their open house thing this weekend or something where lots of things will be on sale.
Oh, you can get bird feeders probably on sale.
You probably get shovels too. You probably get anything that one might not use when there were 17 feet of snow on the ground.
I'm glad you tipped me off to that. I like going to Welch's.
And they have an antique car show, I think, happening there at the same time.
They're so nice at Welch's.
They kind of are.
They kind of are.
They are. They are. I'm agreeing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's always somebody there just doing that's ready to do something nice for you.
There's always more employees at Welch's than there are customers. And so there's always somebody.
Yeah, I'm always surprised when I have to look for somebody there because usually somebody comes and finds you.
Yeah.
Because there's so many guys. But there's always a guy that really knows the answer to something.
Yeah.
And I
they
like
wear
that.
Suspenders too, so that's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I do.
Why do you keep looking at the time? Is it like time to
Because
go?
I'm just in this mood where I feel like I could easily forget what the time was and we would, the other show would fire.
According to my Fitbit, we have 4 minutes.
Okay. Then I could I don't think we have time to talk about trout clubs. I don't know that we have time to talk about goats. I did have something to say about
Let's
goats.
not talk about goats. I hate goats.
I know you hate goats and you hate space, but the thing is that goats are making a difference in Brooklyn. They really are. After Superstorm Sandy, Prospect Park, 500 trees came down, and then all these invasive species like honeysuckle and English ivy started to grow. So instead of using
Did
chemicals,
they come from the sky?
Because they had all this carnage of the storm, that there was just a huge mess.
Honeysuckle can't grow off of nothing. It must have already been there.
Well, invasive species just find their way in a storm.
So the goats are coming to take this away.
The goats are there cleaning up the mess. They don't have to use chemicals. Now, that is a good use of goats. You have to agree. It's a good use of goats.
It is a good use of goats.
We'll think about space next week and what could be a good use of space.
Goats in space.
Possibly.
I think they could go there. All of them.
You don't really think that.
They could eat the surface of whatever non-habitable planet is up there that we can't go to, and the goats can fix it for us.
Well, Saturn has 62 moons. I was going to quiz you, but I realized I don't want to do that to you because...
Who needs that many moons? I think they're just being hoggy and greedy, and you don't need 62 moons. Are they clumped together, or are they all sort of floating around?
What I just wanted to say to you is that you really would like Saturn's moons, despite what you're thinking, because you know what they called them? They called them... it was this really cool... let's see. Here it is. Space. Somebody called them scuffed marbles. That they look like scuffed marbles.
Oh, I like that.
I know. So if you start thinking about planets as looking like scuffed marbles, you start to warm up to them. So I think there's ways that you and I can warm up to space. We'll just
switch all of the astronomical. No, that's not the right word. What's the word for up there? No, it's not astronomical. That means
it's not astrological.
Huge. No. Whatever, the terminology of spacey stuff.
And there's water. There's water spouting out of these moons, and you can see it on, at least one of the moons has water.
Are Saturn's moons as hot? No, Saturn's cold, right? Are they as cold as
Saturn?
Well,
they're all different. The water comes spouting up, and you can see it from space, and then it comes down as snow. It's beautiful.
Whoa, it's like that experiment when you throw the boiling water into the air on a cold day, and it turns into snow.
That's going on at Saturn. Wow. See you there next week. Okay, we got to get off the air. You've been listening to 11th Hour Radio with Kristina, Stykos, and Emily Howe. We're going to go out on a track of music by Mike Shaw. And
we'll be back next week. I'm not yawning at you guys. I'm just tired.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Were you raised by wolves to show your teeth that way? Were you raised by wolves to show your teeth that way? So predatory, so alone, you like to rip flesh from the bone. Were you raised by wolves to show your teeth that way? Were you raised by wolves to howl at the moon? Were you raised by wolves to howl at the moon? Got no compassion, got no soul. You drag your fresh kill down a hole. Were you raised by wolves to howl at the moon? I heard the calling of the wild. I was as trusting as a child. Were you raised by wolves to stalk your prey at night? Were you raised by wolves to stalk your prey at night? I'm gonna fight you tooth and nail. I'm gonna shake you off my trail. Were you raised by wolves to stalk your prey at night? Were you raised by wolves to have a barking bite? Were you raised by wolves